Welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us tonight. We're focusing on the National Assembly oversight role in the Tinubu presidency with a member of House of Representatives representing Pangshin Kanan Kanke constituency of Plateau State, Honorable Yusuf Adamu Gagdi, as our guest. All right, Honorable, now let's talk about the composition of the new National Assembly leadership. I mean, how confident are you about their ability to steer the ship well?
I think I'm more confident and optimistic than I was in the last 4 years, because we have a situation whereby we have a president today in this country that is a pure and complete Democrat, a grassroots politician that has performed. I've said it elsewhere in one of my TV programs, a president that has transformed a state from one of the most dangerous states and bad economy to one of the most viable economy in all the states, one of the best in all the states in West Africa. So I should expect something better. In addition to that, as a parliament, we have a president that is supported by a vice president who is equally a performer and a Democrat. But both the two, what is so unique is that they are parliament at one point or the another. A president is a distinguished senator. The vice president is a distinguished senator. So what do you expect? They should understand with the Nigerian people, you expect that one thing about parliament and parliamentary engagement that people don't understand is that when you are a member of your parliament, you interact with all agencies and departments of government, either as a committee members that belong to almost 50% or 60% of agency, or as a parliamentarian, you are a researcher who research about all government activities, irrespective of what agency it is. Or in times of budget, you know almost all the agencies. So as a result of that, I think God have given us the enablement to change our own condition by ourselves, by giving Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu the presidency of Nigeria and Senator Kashim Shettima as a vice president. They should know the working of the Nigerian people. They know what Nigerian people want. And more so that, looking at their history, they have performed elsewhere. These are people that have developed humanity. They have developed economies of the state. They have transformed people's life as well as the state. So, if they will bring their experience to bear, I'm very sure that Nigeria will not be the Nigeria we are seeing now in the next 1 or 2 years. From the activities of Mr. President at the risk of sounding immodest, one parliament from the ruling party that draw line whenever it comes to the performance of the executive arm of government, I can tell you your failure and tell you, in my opinion, what can you do in order to stimulate the failures into becoming a success. I say my mind as a representative of the Nigerian people. I speak for the Nigerian people, not for government. So I am saying this so that I will not be misrepresented for putting this. But I am pointing out the qualities and the capacity of the people we have as president and vice president. And as chief of staff and secretary to the government of the federation. We have Senator George Akumi as a secretary to the government of the federation. He was a governor. He is a chief of staff. The president was a governor. He is a senator. He was a senator. The vice president was a governor and is a senator and was a senator. The secretary to the government of the federation was a governor, was a senator. Now the chief of staff was the speaker of the House of Representatives and is now the chief of staff today. So tell me, give me any reason why government, why we should fail, why there shouldn't be a relationship between the executive arm of government and the parliament in terms of advancing the economic life of the people of this country. I am expecting something big and bigger. I'm expecting National Assembly to perform. What performance am I talking about here? Bringing the problems of the Nigerian people on the floor and the executive arm of government understanding the position of the National Assembly in providing remedy to those problems. So if we don't get it right this time around, I don't think there will be a moment that we'll get it better than what we are getting it. The wife of the president, our mother, the first lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, was a senator and the wife, first lady of a state. So the advice she used to give Asiwaju when he was governor of Lagos, that transformed Lagos from one of the most dangerous and unskilled state to one of the most skilled states today irrespective of the diversity in Lagos State, to one of the states that you see that kind of fiscal infrastructure as well as human capital development in Lagos, that thing should continue to come to bear in his own time as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I'm expecting we'll do better. I'm expecting the executive arm of government will equally do better because they understand the Nigerian needs and demand more than any other person.
All right, Honorable Gagdi, evidently you have displayed good sportsmanship, but how will you advise the party and the new National Assembly to carry everyone along, especially those who may be aggrieved?
Well, I have done that, and I have told you, from the speaker that we elected recently, display of his capacity, reaching out personally to some of us, talking with all sense of humility and respect, listening to any other person's views, contrary, whatever, irrespective of political affiliation, giving opportunities to members in his presiding, in his capacity as a presiding officer of just yesterday and today. I think Tajuddin Abbas will do better. I think he understands that it is a unity project that brought him as a speaker. I think he has understand that our party have seen something better in him, that he will be able to carry everybody alone. That is why he was adopted, and that is why his name was mentioned, and that is why members of the 10th House of Representatives voted for him massively. So, we are equally saying that some of us that have shown interest to contest for that position are going to provide that logistic support for him. Meaning logistics in terms of our understanding of the National Assembly, in terms of our relationship with members, in terms of our ideas of why we wanted to become speakers, and today God decided to say he is the speaker. And he is willing. The most important thing is that he is willing to listen to everyone, irrespective of diversity. So I'm optimistic that if things being equal, Tajuddin Abbas will be one of the best speakers. He will carry everybody along. And he's human. We'll equally support him wherever we see that he is deviating. We'll do our utmost best by respecting him as our leader and correcting him in such a way that he will understand that that is not the best way to go. So we cannot be in the 10th Assembly and have at the same time an assembly that will not carry everybody alone. Mr. President have displayed that from the day he was inaugurated and the day the National Assembly was inaugurated, he have shown to us some basic democratic lessons that we need to be our brothers' keepers, we need to tolerate one another, we need to listen to one another. From the way he opened his doors and engages us to make sure that the number of the contestants were reduced to the barest minimum, I think we have learned from that. And if there is anybody that have learned better than some of us, it must be Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, the Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives. I'm sure, given his pedigree of academic excellence, his parliamentary achievement, he knows how to manage everybody. He knows how to manage the diversity of the 10th House of Representatives.
All right. Now that the new leaders have emerged based on the party's choice, many are afraid the 10th National Assembly may become the rubber stamp of the executive. How will you react to this?
Understanding rubber stamp, people have different ways of defining rubber stamp. Some people define rubber stamp as a cordial working relationship between the legislator and the executive. So as long as there is peace existing between the parliament and the executive arm of government, people refer to the parliament as rubber stamp, no matter the benefit of that relationship to the Nigerian people. So most people define a parliament that is not rubber stamp as the parliament that is at war with the executive arm of government. I don't see it like that. I think it is high time we educate the public, we educate some few of the Nigerian people that doesn't understand what it is to be a rubber stamp and not to be a rubber stamp. If collaboration doesn't mean rubber stamp, we have 3 tiers of government. The Constitution first mentioned the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. So legislature, being a people parliament, being an organ of government that is owned by the people, should be able to collaborate with. You don't do your job as a lawmaker equally would want to do the job of the executive and want to do the job of the judiciary by interpreting the law. Each organs of government's responsibility is clearly defined in the Constitution, but you cannot satisfy discharging your constitutional mandate of either interpreting the law in the case of the judiciary or making the law in the case of the legislator and executing the law in the case of the executive arm of government. You cannot carry that trinity function and donate it to yourself and expect peace. And you cannot equally discharge those trinity function without collaboration. So if collaborating, lobbying as a parliament means rubber stamp, a lot of people will call 10th Assembly as a rubber stamp. But if the collaborative way of understanding yourself between the executive, correcting things without allowing it to become a crisis between one arm of government and another is equally the parameter that will make people to call 10th Assembly rubber stamp. I'm very sure that myself, I'm going to be one of the first rubber stamp. Fighting and hitting each other doesn't mean that you are operating independently. And again, the speaker has said something in his speech clearly, Tajuddin Abbas, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, that he's going to collaborate. We are going to, he didn't say he, we are going to collaborate with the executive arm of government, not at the expense of the people of this country. That was, to me, that was the central attraction in Tajuddin's speech when he was elected the Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives. We are going to collaborate and work with the executive arm of government, not at the expense of the Nigerian people. So what guaranteed do Nigerians want to hear from the Speaker and from the 10th Assembly? Other than that, they should pray and watch. Then they should hold us accountable of our words. Mr. Speaker has said that we will collaborate, work together with the executive, but not at the detriment of the people of this country. It means, therefore, that we are going to protect the interests of the Nigerian people. And one clear thing and important thing about the National Assembly is this. You cannot block the mouth of all the members of the House of Representatives and the Senate. Everybody reserves the constitutional right to air his opinion, speak for his people, speak for the Nigerian people. So Nigerians will see whether there is going to be a compromise or not. But I assure you, by the special grace of God, there is not going to be anything like compromise, but there is going to be collaboration among the three arms of government.
All right, Honorable Gagdi. Still talking about the issue of rubber stamp, and then this is about the 9th National Assembly. Do you agree with those who say you people were simply rubber stamp of the former president?
I don't agree with you. I'm one of the persons that have stood on the floor of the House and criticized federal government policy regarding to security. I have stood on the floor of the House to criticize federal government policy regarding to economy. I know the 9th House of Representatives under the leadership of Right Honorable Femi Bajabiamila have threatened to reject a budget of the Federal Republic of Nigeria if compensation of the victims of the NSAS was not included in the budget. Tell me how many speakers are going to do that, say that on the floor of the House, presiding as a speaker to the sitting president. I know that we have issued more than 216 resolutions regarding to insecurity. We have spoken our minds about failure of the former administration when it comes to the issue of maintenance of security. We have said it clearly. So what rubber stamp are you talking about? What rubber stamp? We have scrutinized budget to the best of our ability. The 9th House of Representatives, take it or leave it. Maybe the information is not out there for you. Have discharged constitutional function in the area of oversighting ministries and agencies of government, querying ministries and agencies of government, threatening to sack, to issue resolution for sacking of ministries and agencies, including unparliamentary statement to the people of this country. We have summoned people to come and explain. We have drawn line where we need to draw line. But again, like I told you, even giving you example with my constituency, the entire Nigerian people must not appreciate and accept the 9th House of Representatives. What is most important is let majority of the people understand that you have done your best and you are not rubber stamp. What people now, let me give you one good example. Compare. I don't want to say that another assembly have not done better than the 9th. I want to be careful here. But compare other assemblies that have had issue of rivalry between the executive and the parliament and their achievement. put them at par with the achievement of Femi Gbajabiamila, who have allowed members to ventilate their opinion irrespective of their party platform, allow members to debate on issues based on their merit, and take resolution, even against government, and send those resolutions to the agencies concerned. With the achievement of where the leadership of Femi Gbajabiamila understood and collaborated with the executive arm of government, the achievements are not comparable. So being a rubber stamp doesn't mean when you don't fight, it means you are rubber stamp. It's not the definition of being rubber stamp.
All right, then. So as the architect of the new Police Act, can you throw more light on the content of the new act?
I'm proud that even Speaker, at his own valedictory speech, he x-rayed the Police Act of 2020, which was sponsored and funded by me. It was a total repeal and reenactment of the 2002 Police Act. The content of the 2002 Police Act is still the same content of the 1947 Police Act of the colonial masters. Now, you had a police act that doesn't respect the fundamental human right of the citizen. When your brother or your son commit a crime, police have right to arrest the father or the mother in the absence of the son. Where does this happen? A woman doesn't have the right to become the Inspector General of Police. We have provided in the area of repeal and the reenactment of the 2020, the present Police Act of 2020, we provided a legal framework that appreciate and acknowledge the existence of community policing. What is left for us is the implementation. The thing that is not happening is the fact that implementing the content of the 2020 Police Act, I don't think I appreciate the speed of its implementation by the custodian agency, which is the Nigerian police. If the content of the 2020 Police Act is implemented to the latter, the establishment of community policing where you have structure at the local government level, where you have representative of the police among the civilian, we have turned the Police Act to be a police act that is people-oriented. In the nature of intelligence gathering among the police and the community is people-led. So if it is implemented, the structure, we will have the best of Police Act. We have the best of Police Act today.
All right. Sadly, we're running out of time, but quickly before I let you go, now, how would you assess President Tinubu so far, and what kind of president do you think he would be in 30 seconds?
I know he's not going to be flattered by my words, but I've seen a president that act, a president that have action. From what happened from the day he's inaugurated today, the achievement, the frank and gallant policy the man have put together, I think it shows you the signal. You cannot rate him in his 2 weeks or 3 weeks in office. You can only rate a president in 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. If you're asking me to rate him, I can only be flogging a dead horse. I may not be telling you the truth. But looking at the foundation he is putting in place, looking at the direction of his administration, looking at the focus, looking at the commitment, looking at him proving trying to work his campaign promises to the Nigerian people, I'm very sure by the special grace of God, with the prayers of all Nigerians, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to be the savior, the democratic savior, someone that democratically Nigerian people are expecting him to come and save the people of Nigeria from the shackle of maladministration and bad governance.
That's a good way to end the show. It's a pleasure having you on Politics Tonight. I mean, in the last 4 years, you flipped over the table, demonstrating how a committed heart and a willing mind can grind out the dividends of transformation and leadership. Thank you very much and well done. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very happy. Thank you. God bless.
And that marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But the conversation continues from here. Get in touch with us on Twitter at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Mataji. Goodbye.